I'm back with another vlog, and this time the focus is on the half marathon in Glasgow. I've actually just in the last hour had a catch-up call with my coach, Ailey, not Christian this time, with Ailey, who we've just been basically talking through the half marathon prep in comparison to when we did Edinburgh, the most important part for after it. Admission now, I text in my group chat that I have with Christian and Ailey, but a couple of days after Edinburgh, saying that I was feeling good, I was ready to get back into my sessions. Long story short, I went to Copenhagen with Kilmarnock football team for 24 hours while they were playing in their European match. Came back from Copenhagen and literally hit an absolute brick wall at that point. So the key for me was making sure after Glasgow I don't literally run before I can walk again. Listen to my body, take recovery seriously, and enjoy the fact that my body might be feeling good after it, or it might not be, who knows. But that's the biggest lesson that I've learned post Edinburgh, and one that I'm taking in for Glasgow and after it. So I'm going to take you along for the journey. It is the 1st of October, start of a brand new month, and we've got Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. 5 sleeps to go before I take on the roads of Glasgow. So I'm going to take you along for the ride. There's still plenty of the working week left to go, but I'm excited. It's my last event of 2024, and I missed Glasgow last year because I was speaking at an event in the funeral industry in Cardiff, and I couldn't run Glasgow, but I managed to do my first half marathon at that time and do Cardiff. Not great preparation. If you haven't watched some vlogs when I've mentioned this before, my preparation was rubbish. I wasn't in the correct headspace. My training was very inconsistent, and I just wasn't where I should have been and able to tackle that the best I could. So Edinburgh was like take one again, or a retake of doing kind of first half marathon, even though it was my second. And obviously this one is the one that I wanted to do, and I'm getting to do, but a year later. But I'm in a better headspace, better physical shape, better mental headspace, better mindset. My mindset is so much more shifted in this amount of time, and I'm just excited to be on the start line and use it as what I learned in the last few weeks as a victory lap. I've done all the work, I've been through the process, I've been through the journey of hard work, dedication, commitment, consistency, recovery, nutrition, everything that I've put into this, that I put into Edinburgh, I've put into Glasgow just as much, if not more, because it's the last event of the year and I just want to do well for myself. No one else, just for myself. Again, I'm not heading into it going with a set time. If I get the same time as Edinburgh, if I get slower, if I get quicker, who knows? I'm not aiming with a time in mind. I'm just going to enjoy the victory lap of the race, have my parents' best friend at the finish line, and just celebrate the fact that I'm going to, with the goal and intention of finishing off 2024 in the fittest, strongest and healthiest place that I have ever been, that a few years ago I would have bitten anyone's hand off to have. So this is it all come to fruition, and I'm excited that you get to come along for the journey. So let's do it. So this is still some of the work being done. I mean, just look at this. For getting the steps in before heading off for the last gym session with weights. So we get after it by starting on bench press. This felt really, really heavy and not as good as it had been previously. Wishing that I could fly and supporting Kelly at the same time. Being consistent with upping the weight on this was really, really tough, but so good to keep going. Not even going to give this exercise the time of day because I just absolutely do not like it. Bonus, if you can spot my 2 coaches while I do some farmers carries. And again, if you can spot them while I do some arm pumping. Well, it's good morning for me. It's the back of 8 AM. I am 3 sleeps, 4 days from the Glasgow Half Marathon. I am walking down a hill, so I'm trying to multitask. Don't know how this will work. So yeah, I woke up this morning feeling quite nervous about it. I've been struggling the last few weeks with a bit of knee niggling in both knees. Change of weather and things there can be a lot of factors. I do have the gloves on, as you can tell, winter is in full swing, but I just thought it was important to share that, I think I learned from last time a couple of things, and I thought it was important to share so you get the kind of full context. So one thing that I have changed this time is I probably ate maybe half an hour to 45 minutes earlier than I could have, or I could afford to have, Edinburgh. So I'm going to just eat half an hour a bit later. I'm going to eat exactly the same, 2 pieces of toast with jam and banana. So I'm going to do exactly the same, just have it about half an hour later. And then the second thing is just how like a drawback from, I think, yeah, from working. So this week's been quite full on. We're on Thursday, but Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday have been really, really full on. Had a bit of a meltdown yesterday, but just been overwhelmed. A lot of things externally going on in the background that I will share at a later time. But yeah, it just kind of puts in perspective that the reason why I've decided to draw back from like yesterday afternoon, drawn back even more today, still doing bits of work and stuff, but not doing as much, and then again tomorrow. So by drawing back each day and then having a really just family orientated day the day before, having my chicken sausage pasta, which I'm making for 4 hours this time, it's me just A, looking after myself, B, making sure that I'm recovered and I'm ready, and C, just making sure that I use this opportunity on Sunday to my advantage. Like, that is the key for me. I'm not coming on here and I'm not saying, oh, I'm going for a time, I'm going for this, I'm going for that. The last half marathon I did 20 minutes quicker. Who knows what this one will be, depending on my knees, depending on things. So yeah, I just want you to enjoy it, and it's going to be what we call a victory lap. This was what was waiting at the bottom of the hill after I recorded that little update. How beautiful a setting, and so lucky that this is the load week in prep. Last session on the bike before the half marathon officially. So little update, just finished the last session before, definitely well, I'm still doing it actually, just about finished. Work is officially done. Now next is all out rest, recovery, just get some steps in, make the most of it while the weather's not raining, and be ready for Sunday. So yeah, it's nice to round off working this way. I had therapy earlier on today as well, which I learned a lot. A lot of breakthroughs and a lot of moments, so yeah, I feel as if it's really helped me feel quite light today and really tackle the rest of the day like I wanted to when it started. So buzzing for the next couple of days, but now after this it's really time to get set for Sunday in terms of what I wear, what I'm going to eat and what I'm going to have with me when I go and run around Glasgow. So this basically kind of gives you a kind of guide to what I carry with me. So instead of wearing my little carrier that I kind of go like that and that, I have recently got one of the ones that kind of what they would call a fanny pack in America around the waist. It's a lot easier, it's given me more freedom up top, less restricted with the jackety type one on. So that's what I'm having carried around with me. 2 gels, we've got a little orange number and a little lemon and lime number. I think I'm going to have, I had sweeties last time, but I'm going to do it differently this time. We're going to have a gel before I start and one for kind of one of the after 30-minute intervals that I've got to take on some carbs. Got that. I've been using these recently, my coaches suggested them, so thank you very much Ailey, because they've actually been so much better than the squashes. The squashes I've got to take 7, counts as one portion, is kind of roughly about 20 grams of carbs, whereas these, that counts as 20 grams of carbs. So for me that's a lot easier than trying to 7 sweeties when you're like running and trying to keep up with everything, so that's a lot easier. So what I'll do is have 2 lots of them with me on the way round. So I'll have one for a little bit round the way round and then another one. So every half an hour, roughly every half an hour, I'm looking to take on this just to give me a boost, keep me going round. Could I take an R2? Yeah, probably, but I'm just going to take 2 lots. So I've got 3 lots of carbs before like I go anywhere but the front on the route, and then 1 before I get going. And I also like to just kind of, I don't like gulp this down, but it will be roughly about 2 hours since I eat breakfast to when we get to the start line and ready to hit off. So I just usually kind of carry this for the first maybe kilometre or so. I soak it, just a little bit of it, and then it gets thrown in one. The kind of, some have lit the area, some don't, so that just gives you an insight to what I carry when I go with me. Of course, I'll have my phone in my bag as well, with either music. I've got my playlist ready, got a podcast just for pure distraction. I'm not paying attention to it. Yeah, so that is me all ready to go. Headphones are charging as we speak as well, so yeah, ready to go. It's getting scary now, it's the day before, so hopefully by 24 hours time, so we're currently the Saturday before, it's about 2:45 on the 5th of October, and by this time tomorrow I'm hoping that I will have completed it. And yeah, hopefully I'm sitting down to a nice pizza by this point, so fingers crossed. The number is on the shorts, all ready to go. It's real now. So this is the pasta, chicken sausage pasta bake I'm making. Dad's in the background having a little nosy. This is the final product on the table. Look at that, absolutely banging, and it was so delicious. Then me and Emma watched a film which was a bit weird but oddly funny before we settled down for the night. Good morning, it is race day. It's just gone 9:05. I'll be honest, I'm very, very nervous this morning. I've been dealing with a bit of knee niggle in the last couple of days. It's got a little bit worse, so yeah, I'm nervous about that to see how we go with it, but I'm currently just waiting on the breakfast being made. The banana is cut, toast is in, jam is ready to put on, electrolytes with a little bit of sparkling water. This in case I feel I need a little bit extra. Toast is popped. Yeah, roasting. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling just now. So yeah, the nerves have kicked in, but this is the one that I was supposed to do last year. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed knee holds up. I've kind of set myself the tone of two things. First one is to get up the hill, because it's a pretty kind of steep hill, nice and slowly, nice and easy. The aim is just to get to the top of the hill. And then if my knee starts playing up, I'm just going to slow right down, and I'm just going to enjoy the moments of getting round. And that's the aim. I really just want to do it and get round, whatever that means right now, but not put myself or my knee at any more risk than it needs to be. So that's my kind of thought process I'm having to go through this morning. But the reality is not feeling as good as I was going into the last one, just because the wee niggles and things are starting to show themselves. They all show themselves at the wrong time. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy breakfast, then we're going to head off, make our way to Glasgow. So yeah, see you there. The finished breakfast. Nice. So we got to the train station, and yep, it was busy for a Sunday morning to say the least. Check us out walking. Glasgow, there's Emma. Give us a little smile, Emma. Here we go. So nervous at this point. We are now at the start line in George Square, just taking in the atmosphere, and my nerves were just incredible at this point, and I was trying not to show it and just take it all in. So we get after it in the warm-up. The only thing was people were putting their hands up there. I could smell BO, and it was not pretty. Couple minutes to go at this point. Yeah, just having to get in the zone. Headphones are in, and I just want to get going at this point. Post-cry at the finish line. I had done it. But before we talk about that, can we just appreciate this incredible gluten-free margherita pizza with ham? And just to prove that I couldn't actually walk at my normal speed after that on our way back to the station, yes, slow walking Katie. The medal and the t-shirt. That's why everybody does it. That is why everybody does it. Look at that. And then, of course, comes home, has a shower, washes the hair, puts the medal on like a sado. Yep, there I go. Happy to have it done. So it is now been just over 24 hours since I completed the Glasgow half marathon. To say I feel broken would probably be a complete understatement. For context, obviously experiencing a knee niggle that was a bit more serious than probably I was letting on, and trying to work through it. Started off in the race being just take it nice and easy. The goal changed from, going for time to just if I can get round, obviously that would be a bonus, was what was going through my head. And the more I was sort of trying to run, the pain in the knee was disappearing, coming back, disappearing, coming back. I thought if I get to 5k and stop, that would be good, but I then ended up being kind of outside Glasgow at that point. We were heading towards Pollock Park. It was 10k in, and Pollock Park made me feel quite claustrophobic, but I think it was just all the mental challenge of I was digging deep and in this sort of darker space to try and get through it, to try and get out of the park. I thought, I don't want to stop here because I don't feel right in here. I wanted to get through it, and I just sort of really slowed down and knew that just even trying to complete it was going to be such a huge win. And then heading back into Glasgow and going along the riverside, and the more the streets were filled with people shouting your name and, you know, cheering you on, was really, really emotional. And about a kilometre out, like, I knew I was going to complete it. I didn't know if I was going to be crawling across the line, but I knew I was going to be crossing the line in whatever state I was going to be in. And yeah, the more people were cheering and coming round to Glasgow Green on that straight with 600 metres to go was, yeah, the emotions were flowing, but I just wanted to get past the line first. As soon as I crossed the line, paramedic grabbed me, I was away. He asked me how I was, couldn't speak to him. So in this sort of different place at that point, and one of the biggest cries that I ever had, crying into Emma's shoulder, crying to my mum and dad, and then getting the chance to see my coaches Christian and Ailey without crying was a real bonus. And that's just for context, but now that I sit here feeling quite battered and bruised, I feel quite emotionally drained, quite physically drained, and quite mentally drained. But at the same time, I feel relieved that it's done. I managed to get a 1:15 personal best in comparison to Edinburgh a couple of months ago back in August, where I was 2 hours 31:26, and this time I was 2 hours 30:14. So going to the darkest of places and really being challenged mentally and physically, and being challenged in a way that the Katie 12 months ago would never have been able to fight. I would have given up. You know, that's a huge win, and I think it just shows that whatever we do as individuals, we really can do it. It's hard. There's a lot of hard work involved. There's a lot of times when you don't want to do it. It's the last thing you want to do. Your motivation drops, your confidence drops, your capabilities feel like they're not as good as they used to be. You're never going to be as good as the person that's running next to you on the left-hand side, but, you know, it's proven that you're capable, and that's certainly what I've came away learning, and I feel as if I've actually learned what it's like in comparison to the Glasgow Half Marathon experience, that I actually in a way have worked out how to be challenged and how to work through a challenge. And that might sound weird to some people, and a lot of people might be saying, you know what, hindsight, Katie, should you have actually ran that race? In hindsight, probably not, but at the same time, I did it to the best of my ability. I had to talk to myself throughout it. I had to really, really zone out. I was irritated by the rain. I was irritated by a lot of things, but at the same time, I came in and I got my personal best, and it makes me now think, if that had been on a really good day for me, if I hadn't been sort of nursing an injury, what could I have got? So now my focus, post half marathon, and obviously having time to reflect and review and really debrief on it, is what am I capable of? But I think we could ask ourselves that in any which way. Like, we could ask that in career, could ask that in life, ask that not just in particular of fitness or running or my context, but what are you capable of? Because really we're capable of a lot more than we think that we are, and I think that's the message in all this. But at the same time, what people might see, I've had a lot of messages saying, yeah, but look how hard you're working. Yeah, absolutely, but you haven't seen the tears and the tantrums and the that I don't want to do this, that I can't do this attitude, the feeling sorry for myself when I just want to give up moments. They're the moments that actually made yesterday happen. All the moments of negativity and really having to push when you don't want to was the moments that got me not only doing the half marathon yesterday, but crossing that line. And that, I think, is even further the message that I'm trying to say and speak. So for anyone thinking about doing anything in life, not just as a runner or, you know, trying to be a runner in my case, but it makes me excited for the end of 2024 and makes me very, very curious of what am I capable of in 2025, especially getting into the infancy of the running journey. So I'm going to carry that forward for a little while longer while I reflect and review. That's such a tongue twister for me to say. And really spend a bit of time with that, but really focus down and think, what does Katie want to achieve for 2025? So I hope you enjoyed the vlog once again. That is the last event for me for 2024. In 2025, who knows what it holds yet, but I can't wait to put it in plan. I can't wait to book some events and really have it kind of figured out in terms of where I want to go, what I want to do, and yeah, get after it and get action. So thank you very much for joining me.